The last time I touched Dad's 1967 Mustang, I was selling it to fund my brother's startup. Now, 3 months later, I'm staring at an overdue notice from the bank, wondering how I could have been so stupid. My name is Isabella, and I just lost my inheritance, my savings, and my family's trust in one spectacular con, orchestrated by my own flesh and blood. Isabella, honey, there must be some mistake. Mum's voice trembles as she holds up another letter from a creditor. We're sitting at her kitchen table, the same one where Edwin pitched his brilliant startup idea just months ago. Your brother wouldn't. He did, Mom. I slide my phone across the table, showing her Edwin's Instagram stories. Luxury hotels in Miami, designer shopping sprees, yacht parties, all funded by the classic car Dad and I spent 5 years restoring together. But the investors meeting, Mom's hands shake. All those presentations he showed us? Fake, all of it. My voice cracks. I called every single company he claimed was backing him. None of them had ever heard of Edwin Mack or his revolutionary fintech platform. The doorbell rings, making us both jump. It's Hector, my best friend since college, and the person who first noticed something was off about Edwin's pitch. You need to see this. He pulls out his laptop, opening a folder of documents. I traced the wire transfer you made. The money never went to any business account. It was transferred directly to his personal account, then what? I lean forward, my stomach churning. Split between 3 different overseas accounts within hours. Hector's face is grim. He planned this, those fancy presentations, the fake investor meetings, even that emotional speech about wanting to make Dad proud. It was all calculated. Mom excuses herself, but not before I catch the tears in her eyes. I remember how proud she was when Edwin announced his entrepreneurial ambitions, how she bragged to all her friends about her son following in his father's footsteps. My phone buzzes. A text from Edwin. Hey sis, hope you're not mad about the car. Business is tough sometimes, you know. But things are looking up. Might have some good news soon. I stare at the message, my hands shaking with rage. The casual tone, the complete lack of remorse. It's so typically Edwin. I trusted him, Hector. I scroll through old photos on my phone. Edwin and me at Dad's funeral, both promising to look after Mom. Edwin helping me polish the Mustang's chrome bumper. Edwin presenting his business plan with such conviction that I actually believed in him. I actually believed he'd changed. What are you going to do? Hector asks, closing his laptop. We could file a police report. No. I shake my head, an idea forming. That would destroy Mom. She's already lost Dad. I won't make her watch her son go to jail. So you're just going to let him get away with it? I walk to the window, watching the empty space in the driveway where Dad's Mustang used to sit. Every Saturday morning for 5 years, Dad and I worked on that car. He taught me everything, from changing spark plugs to rebuilding the transmission. It wasn't just a car. It was our bond, our shared dream. Remember that startup idea we discussed last year? I turn to Hector. The one you said was too ambitious? He nods slowly. The AI-driven financial advisory platform. Yeah, but what does that have to... What if we built it? I interrupt. But instead of launching it under my name, we create it under Edwin's. Hector's eyes widen as he catches on. You want to build a successful company in his name, then? Then show everyone exactly who he really is. I pick up my phone, looking at Edwin's text again. He wants to play entrepreneur. Fine. Let's see how he handles actual success. That's brilliant and terrifying. Hector leans back, running a hand through his hair. But it'll take months, maybe years. I don't care how long it takes. I delete Edwin's message. He didn't just steal money from me, Hector. He stole Dad's legacy, and I'm going to make him face the consequences of that choice. As if on cue, another Instagram notification pops up. Edwin, posing on some beach. Caption reading, Living the entrepreneur life. Big things coming soon. Blessed sans your success, sans entrepreneur. I screenshot it, saving it as motivation for what's to come. My brother thinks he's won, that he's gotten away with his perfect con, but he's about to learn what real success looks like and exactly how far his sister will go to teach him about consequences. "You in?" I ask Hector. He grins, opening his laptop again. "Always. Where do we start?" For the first time since discovering Edwin's betrayal, I smile. It's not a happy smile. It's the kind that promises retribution, carefully planned and perfectly executed. "We start," I say, "by building something real. Your brother's company doesn't exist." Caitlin slides a stack of papers across my desk, her expression a mix of sympathy and anger. "I checked every business registry in the country. There's no trace of any startup registered under his name." I'm at my office, where I've spent the last week digging into Edwin's lies, instead of doing my actual job. Caitlin, my colleague from the IT department, has been helping me trace the digital breadcrumbs of my brother's deception. "But look at this," she continues, pulling up his LinkedIn profile. "He's been posting updates about investor meetings, hiring sprees, even office locations, all fabricated." "Show me the timestamps." I lean forward, scanning the screen. These posts started 3 months before he asked me for money. He was building his credibility. "Setting up his con," Caitlin finishes. Classic long game. My phone rings. It's Piper, Edwin's girlfriend. I hesitate before answering, putting it on speaker. "Isabella?" Her voice sounds worried. "Have you heard from Edwin? He was supposed to meet me for lunch, but he's not answering his phone." "No idea." I keep my voice neutral. "Maybe he's in a business meeting." "That's what he keeps saying, but—" Piper pauses. "I went to surprise him at his office yesterday. The address he gave me. It's a vacant building under renovation." I exchange glances with Caitlin. "Really? That's strange. And there's something else," Piper continues. "I saw his credit card statement by accident. Isabella, he spent $40,000 at a casino last week." My hands clench into fists. That's almost half of what he got from selling Dad's car. "Thanks for letting me know, Piper. I'm sure there's an explanation." I hang up before my voice can betray me. "Casino receipts," Caitlin mutters, typing furiously. "Got them. Look at this pattern. High-stakes poker, luxury hotels, first-class flights. He's burning through the money like it's nothing." Hector walks in, carrying takeout. "You need to see this." He pulls out his tablet, showing us a real estate listing. "Guess who just put a down payment on a beachfront condo in Miami?" "With what money?" I grab the tablet. "He's already blown through most of credit cards," Hector explains. "He's opened 6 new ones in the past month, all maxed out." "He's going to destroy his credit score," Caitlin observes. "No," I correct her, the pieces falling into place. "He's going to destroy mine. I'm the guarantor on his startup loan application. When those cards default..." The realization hits like a punch to the gut. Edwin hasn't just stolen my past, he's trying to ruin my future. My phone buzzes with a text from Mom. "Family dinner tonight. Moses is coming. Edwin says he has big news to share." "Perfect timing," Hector says, reading over my shoulder. "Moses practically mentored Edwin after your dad passed. If anyone can spot a con, it's him." "I can't expose Edwin yet," I reply. "Not until we have everything in place." Speaking of which, Caitlin turns her laptop around, showing a business plan. "I've been working on the framework for your revenge startup. It's actually pretty solid." I scan the document, impressed. It's everything Edwin claimed his startup would be, but real, viable, achievable. "We'll need seed funding," Hector points out, "and a team." "I have savings," I say. "Not much, but enough to start. And I know exactly who to hire." My phone buzzes again. An email from the bank. Another overdue notice, this time with a warning about legal action. "Isabella," Caitlin says softly, "are you sure you want to do this? Building a company just to teach your brother a lesson? It's a lot of work for revenge." "It's not just about revenge." I pull up Edwin's latest Instagram post. him posing in front of a Ferrari he probably rented, captioned with some quote about entrepreneurship. It's about justice. He didn't just steal money, he stole trust. He used Dad's memory as a prop in his con, and now he's about to drag Mom into his mess too. Then let's do this right, Hector says, pulling out his own laptop. I've got some contacts in the tech industry who might be interested in a legitimate AI financial platform. First, I stand up, grabbing my jacket. We have a family dinner to attend. Time to see what kind of big news my brother's selling now. As we pack up, I notice a small photo tucked in my wallet. Dad and me, covered in grease, smiling proudly next to the freshly painted Mustang. I touch it briefly, making a silent promise. Ready? Caitlin asks, holding the door. Ready, I nod, straightening my shoulders. Time to start building something real, even if it's built on lies. You want to launch in 3 months? Hector nearly chokes on his coffee. We're in his home office, surrounded by whiteboards covered in flowcharts and coding specifications. That's impossible, Is. Most startups take at least... We don't have a year, I interrupt, pointing to the latest credit card statement Edwin opened in my name. At the rate he's going, my credit will be destroyed by then. Caitlin spins in her chair, typing furiously. I've got the basic framework for the AI algorithm ready. If we pull some all-nighters... And I've got 5 developers willing to join, I add. They're friends from my old tech job. All of them got burned by fake startups before. They're in. But how are we going to explain? Hector starts. A knock at the door interrupts us. It's Piper, looking worried and clutching her phone. Sorry to barge in, she says, but I need to show you something. She pulls up a video on her phone, Edwin giving a presentation at what looks like a tech conference. This was posted yesterday. That's impossible. I lean closer. He was in Miami yesterday. I saw his Instagram stories. Exactly, Piper's voice trembles. I was supposed to meet him for dinner, but he said he was speaking at this conference in Seattle. When I saw his beach photos, the conference video is old, Caitlin observes, examining the footage. Look at the date on the banner behind him. It's from a trade show last year. He just edited himself into it. Piper sinks into a chair. He's been lying to me, hasn't he? About everything? I share a look with Hector. It's time. Piper, I say gently, we need to show you something. I open my laptop, displaying the evidence we've gathered. The fake company registrations, the maxed-out credit cards, the casino receipts. Oh my God, she whispers, scrolling through the documents. The startup. It was all fake. Not for long, Hector says, gesturing to our whiteboards. We're building it for real. Piper looks up, confused. What do you mean? I explain our plan. With each detail, her eyes grow wider. That's brilliant, she finally says. And I want to help. How? Caitlin asks. I'm a PR specialist, remember? I can handle the media presence, create legitimate buzz. Plus, she pulls out her phone again. I have access to all his social media accounts. He made me his social media manager months ago. Perfect, I grin. We'll need that for phase 2. The next few weeks pass in a blur of coding sessions, investor meetings, and secret planning. Our team grows to 12 people, all working remotely to avoid suspicion. The AI platform takes shape, becoming something far more impressive than Edwin's fake promises. First beta test is successful, Caitlin announces one evening, high-fiving the development team. The algorithm's performance is actually beating market standards. And look at this, Piper adds, showing us her tablet. I've been building a legitimate online presence for the company under Edwin's name. Tech blogs are starting to notice. My phone buzzes, a text from Mom. Honey, have you seen these articles about your brother's company? He never mentioned it was doing so well. It's working, I show the others. He's taking the bait. Right on cue, Edwin calls. Sis! His voice is too loud, too confident. Have you seen the press coverage? I told you the startup would work out. Listen, I know things were tight for a while, but it's all coming together now. How about dinner tonight? My treat. Sure, I keep my voice neutral. That new place downtown? Perfect. I've got some big announcements to make. After hanging up, I turn to the team. He's going to try to explain away all the press coverage, probably claim it was his plan all along. Let him, Hector says, pulling up our project timeline. We're ahead of schedule. The platform goes live in 2 weeks. Once it's public, he'll have to either admit he had nothing to do with it, Caitlin continues, or try to take credit for something he doesn't understand, Piper finishes. Either way, I say, looking at Dad's photo on my desk, he'll have to face the truth. My phone buzzes again, another credit alert. Edwin's just charged $10,000 at a luxury watch store. You know, Piper says quietly, when this is over, when everyone knows what he did, he's going to lose everything. No, I correct her, watching our developers put the finishing touches on the platform that will change everything. He's going to learn everything. About consequences, about real work, about trust. And about karma, Hector adds with a smile. I nod, picking up my jacket. Time to go hear what kind of story my brother's going to tell at dinner. The algorithm just predicted another market shift perfectly. I tell Mum as we sit in her garden, pulling weeds together. It's Saturday morning, and I'm trying to explain our startup's success without revealing that Edwin has nothing to do with it. That's wonderful, honey, she says, but her smile doesn't reach her eyes. Edwin must be so proud. Mum? I set down my gardening tools. What's wrong? She sits back on her heels, wiping her forehead. Moses came by yesterday. He said Edwin asked him for money, a lot of money. My stomach drops. Did Moses give it to him? No, he showed me Edwin's pitch deck instead. She pulls off her gardening gloves slowly. Isabella, the numbers didn't make sense. None of it made sense. Before I can respond, my phone rings. It's Hector. Emergency at the office. You need to get here now. 20 minutes later, I'm staring at our main monitor in horror. Someone's trying to hack into our system. The attack started an hour ago, Caitlin explains, typing frantically. They're targeting our core algorithm. Can you trace it? I lean over her shoulder. Already did, she points to an IP address. It's coming from Edwin's favorite coffee shop. My brother's face appears on my phone, a FaceTime call. I answer, putting it on speaker. Sis, he sounds frantic. Something's wrong with my company's servers. My tech team can't figure it out. Can you help? I look at Hector, who's silently tracking the hacking attempt. Your tech team? I keep my voice steady. I didn't know you had one. Of course I do. Look, this is serious. Investors are asking questions. What investors, Edwin? The words slip out before I can stop them. There's a pause. What do you mean? Never mind. I'll look into it. I hang up, turning to Caitlin. Can you stop the hack? She grins. Already did. But look what they were trying to access. The AI's learning patterns. They wanted to steal our algorithm. Not they, Hector corrects. Edwin hired someone to hack what he thinks is his own company because he has no idea how it actually works. My phone buzzes with a text from Piper. Edwin just called me panicking about server issues. Says he needs to protect his intellectual property. Should I play along? Tell him everything's fine, I reply. Say your IT contact handled it. Isabella? Mum's voice makes me jump. I didn't hear her come in. What's all this? I turn to find her standing in the doorway, holding a familiar leather portfolio, Dad's old business files. I found something interesting, she continues, opening the portfolio. Your father's notes about teaching you coding when you were 12. And here, she pulls out another paper, his predictions about AI in finance. The same concepts Edwin's been talking about. The room goes quiet. Mum looks around at the monitors, the whiteboards, our team hard at work. This isn't Edwin's company, is it? Her voice is soft but certain. Mum, I can explain. No need. She sets down the portfolio. I saw the credit card statements, the gambling receipts. I've known something was wrong for weeks. Her voice catches. I didn't want to believe it. Hector pulls up a chair for her. Mrs. Bell, everything we're building here is real. The AI platform works. It's helping people make better financial decisions. Just not under Edwin's leadership, Mom finishes. She looks at me. This is your revenge, isn't it? Building the company he pretended to create. I nod, waiting for her disappointment, her anger. Instead, she laughs. Your father would have loved this. Using success as revenge? That's exactly what he would have done. You're not mad. Mad? Isabella, you turned your brother's lies into something real. Something good. She picks up a tablet, scrolling through our project data. But what happens when Edwin has to explain how his company actually works? That's the point, Caitlin chimes in. He can't, and soon everyone will know it. Mum's about to respond when my phone buzzes again. Another credit alert for Edwin, this time for a first-class ticket to Singapore. He's running, Hector observes. No, I say, a plan forming. He's giving us the perfect opportunity. Mom, how would you feel about a family dinner tomorrow night? We can invite Moses too. And Piper, Caitlin adds. She should be there for this. Mom stands up, straightening her gardening clothes. I'll cook your father's favorite lasagna. It seems fitting. As she leaves, I catch her wiping away tears. But she's smiling too, and for the first time in months, it reaches her eyes. Ready for the endgame? Hector asks, pulling up our launch schedule. I look at Dad's portfolio on the desk, then at the screens showing our legitimate, successful company. Ready, I nod. Time to show my brother what real entrepreneurship looks like. Mr. Mack, your company's AI platform is revolutionary, the reporter from Tech Weekly says, shoving a microphone in Edwin's face. How did you develop the core algorithm? We're at the biggest tech conference in the city, watching Edwin squirm under the spotlight I carefully arranged. Hector, Caitlin, and I stand in the back of the crowd, barely containing our smirks. Well, you see, Edwin tugs at his collar, the algorithm uses advanced machine learning to analyze market patterns. Could you be more specific? Another reporter jumps in. Your white paper mentions neural network architectures we've never seen before. Edwin's eyes dart around desperately. That's proprietary information. But surely you can explain the basic principles. The first reporter persists. After all, you wrote the code yourself, right? I watch my brother's face pale as he realizes he's in over his head. Piper stands beside him, playing her part perfectly as the supportive girlfriend, but I can see the disgust in her eyes. I think that's enough questions, she interrupts smoothly. Mr. Mack has another meeting to attend. As they hurry off stage, Caitlin nudges me. Look at the stock forums. On her tablet, investors are already questioning Edwin's technical knowledge. Doubt is spreading like wildfire. Isabella? A familiar voice makes me turn. It's Moses, looking troubled. Can we talk? We find a quiet corner away from the conference chaos. Moses pulls out his phone, showing me a series of documents. I've been looking into Edwin's finances, he says. The numbers don't add up. This company, it's not his, is it? What makes you say that? Because I remember teaching you coding when you were 14. Your father and I used to talk about how you'd revolutionize fintech someday. He looks at me knowingly. This has your fingerprints all over it. Before I can respond, commotion erupts near the main hall. Edwin is arguing with a group of investors. Of course I understand my own company. His voice carries across the lobby. I built it from scratch. Then explain this, one investor demands, holding up a tablet. Your algorithm just predicted a major market shift that even the top firms missed. How? Edwin's face reddens. That's exactly what it's supposed to do. But how? The investor presses. Walk us through the technical architecture. I watch my brother flounder, making up technical terms that don't exist. Beside me, Moses shakes his head sadly. You did this, he says quietly. Built a legitimate company under his name, knowing he couldn't explain it. He sold Dad's car, I reply, watching Edwin retreat from the increasingly skeptical crowd. Used it to fund his gambling habit instead of a real business. Ah, Moses nods. So this is about justice, not just revenge. My phone buzzes. A message from our development team. The platform just closed another record-breaking day of trades. We're not just successful, we're becoming industry leaders. Isabella, Edwin spots me, rushing over. You have to help me. These investors, they're asking impossible questions. Impossible? I raise an eyebrow. Shouldn't a CEO understand his own company? You know what I mean. All this technical stuff. He lowers his voice. Look, I know I messed up with the car, but this company is really taking off. We could work together, split the profits. Like you split the money from Dad's car? Moses interjects coldly. Edwin steps back, realizing Moses knows the truth. I can explain. Save it, I cut him off as reporters approach. I think you have some more questions to answer. Ladies and gentlemen, a tech blogger announces, we're live streaming with the CEO of the year's most innovative fintech startup. Mr. Mack, could you explain your personal involvement in developing the core technology? I watch Edwin's facade crumble as he faces the cameras. Behind him, Piper catches my eye and nods slightly. She's recording everything for the final phase of our plan. The truth is, Edwin starts, then stops, looking trapped. Yes, the blogger prompts. The truth is what? My brother looks at me pleadingly, but I just cross my arms. He made his choice months ago when he sold Dad's legacy for a quick profit. I need to reschedule this interview, he stammers, practically running toward the exit. Well, Moses says as we watch Edwin flee, I guess the truth has a way of catching up. Not yet, I reply, checking my watch. The family dinner is tomorrow night. That's when the real truth comes out. Are you ready for that? Moses asks. Once you expose him, there's no going back. I think about Dad's car, about Mum's tears, about trust betrayed and lessons learned. I'm ready, I nod. It's time for my brother to face the consequences of his choices. I can't believe you called this family meeting, Edwin hisses as we gather in Mum's living room. After that disaster at the conference, after you couldn't explain your own company's technology, I interrupt, setting down a stack of folders on the coffee table. Mom's serving coffee while Moses sits in Dad's old armchair, his expression grave. Piper perches nervously on the couch, clutching her phone. Hector and Caitlin wait in the kitchen, ready for their cue. Look, Edwin stands, addressing the room with his practiced charm. I know there have been some misunderstandings about the technical aspects of my company. Misunderstandings? Moses picks up one of the folders. Is that what we're calling fraud these days? Edwin freezes. What? Sit down, Edwin, Mom says quietly. It's time we talked about what really happened to your father's car. Mom, I told you I invested that money in blackjack tables in Vegas. I pull up the casino receipts on my tablet. In first-class flights to Miami. In that watch you're wearing right now. The color drains from Edwin's face as I project the evidence onto the wall. Bank statements, credit card bills, gambling losses. That's private information, he sputters. Nothing's private when you use someone else's credit to fund your lies, I reply. Did you think I wouldn't find out about the cards you opened in my name? Piper stands up, her voice shaking. Show him the social media analytics, Isabella. What? Edwin turns to her. What are you talking about? She projects her screen onto the wall, displaying months of carefully crafted posts. I've been managing your company's social media, remember? Every post, every update, every business meeting, I documented everything. But that's my company, Edwin protests. The AI platform, the success, it's all real. Yes, it is, I agree, nodding to Hector and Caitlin, who enter the room. But it's not yours. Caitlin opens her laptop, displaying the platform's code. Want to explain how your algorithm works, Edwin? Because I can. I wrote it. With our team, Hector adds. The team you didn't even know existed. Edwin collapses onto the couch, looking frantically between us. I don't understand. Let me help you understand. Moses leans forward. Your sister built the company you pretended to create. She turned your lies into reality, just to prove how empty your promises were. Mom? Edwin turns to her desperately. You can't believe this. I found this yesterday. Mom pulls out an old photo album. Remember when Isabella won the state coding championship at 16? Your father was so proud. She turns the page. And here's Isabella's first AI project in college, the one that got her hired at that tech firm. While you were posting fake success stories, I continue, we were building something real, something that actually helps people make better financial decisions. But, Edwin's voice cracks, the press coverage, the investors, all responding to our actual success, Hector explains. Success you couldn't explain because you had nothing to do with it. Piper stands up, moving away from Edwin. I watched you lie for months. To investors, to your family, to me. I helped Isabella expose those lies because someone had to stop you. The company goes public next week, I tell him, watching his face crumble. Under its real leadership team, your name isn't on any of the legal documents. You can't do this. Edwin jumps up. I'll tell everyone you stole my idea. What idea? Moses asks calmly. The one you pitched to me last year? The one that exactly matched your father's old business plans that Isabella grew up studying? Edwin turns to Mom, his last hope. Mom, please. Enough, Edwin. Mom's voice is firm but sad. You didn't just steal money. You stole trust. You used your father's memory to con your sister. And now you have to face the consequences. What consequences? He whispers. I slide a document across the table. 2 choices. 1. We report the credit card fraud, and you face legal charges. 2. You sign this confession, pay back everything you stole, and start over, with therapy, a real job, and a chance to earn back our trust. And the company? Was never yours to begin with, I reply, just like Dad's car was never yours to sell. The room falls silent as Edwin stares at the document. Outside, a car alarm goes off, making him jump. I'll sign, he finally says, his voice small. I'll sign everything. As he reaches for the pen, I catch Mom wiping away tears. Moses puts a comforting hand on her shoulder. One more thing, I add, pulling out a final folder. These are the details of every person you scammed with your fake startup pitches. You'll be apologizing to each one personally. Edwin nods, defeated. Is that all? No. I stand up, gathering my things. That's just the beginning. Welcome to the real world of consequences, little brother. And now, I'd like to introduce our CEO and founder, the conference moderator announces to the packed auditorium. The woman behind this year's most innovative fintech platform. I step onto the stage, feeling the weight of 1,000 eyes on me. In the front row, Mom beams proudly, while Moses gives me a thumbs up. Hector and Caitlin sit with our development team, all wearing company t-shirts. Thank you, I begin, looking at the slides displaying our platform's success. A year ago, this company started as a response to deception. Today, it stands as proof that real innovation comes from hard work, not empty promises. The audience leans forward as I explain the technology that's revolutionizing personal finance. Every technical question gets a detailed, knowledgeable response. Every success metric is backed by solid data. In the back of the room, I spot Edwin slipping in quietly. He's wearing a name tag from the accounting firm, where he now works as a junior clerk, his first real job. Piper sits beside him, no longer his girlfriend, but still supporting his journey toward redemption. And now, I continue, I'd like to share something personal. I click to a photo of Dad's Mustang. This car represented more than just an inheritance. It was a lesson about building something real, something lasting. The room goes silent as I tell the story, not of Edwin's betrayal, but of transformation. When that car was sold, I had a choice. Choose revenge or choose creation. I chose to build. I gesture to our team. We all chose to build, and that's what sets us apart. After the presentation, Edwin approaches me hesitantly. He's thinner now, more subdued, the flashy watches and designer clothes replaced by simple business attire. That was amazing, he says quietly. The platform, the presentation, everything you said about building something real. Thanks. I notice he's holding something. What's that? He hands me an envelope. My first bonus from work. It's not much, but... He swallows hard. It's the first payment toward what I owe you. What I owe everyone. Mum joins us, putting an arm around each of her children. Your father would be proud today, she says. Of both of you. Both? Edwin looks surprised. Yes, Mum squeezes his shoulder. You're finally doing the work, Edwin. Real work. That matters. Piper approaches with Hector and Caitlin. The press wants more interviews, she says. They're calling it the tech story of the year. Tell them the real story, Edwin speaks up, about how my sister built something incredible while I was pretending to be successful. Are you sure? I ask. It'll mean everyone knows. Everyone should know, he nods. Maybe it'll stop someone else from making my mistakes. Moses joins our group, holding up his phone. Speaking of knowing things, look what I found. He shows us an online auction site. A 1967 Mustang, same model as your dad's. Needs work, but that's what weekends are for, I finish, remembering those Saturday mornings with Dad. I want to help, Edwin says suddenly. Not with money, but maybe I could learn. About cars, about building things properly this time. Mom wipes away tears as Hector pulls up the auction details. Current bid is within our budget, he notes. Our budget? I raise an eyebrow. Company team-building exercise, Caitlin grins. We all chip in, spend weekends restoring it. Could be fun. Plus, Piper adds, this time we'll document the real process. Show people what genuine restoration looks like. I look at Edwin, seeing something new in his eyes. Not the old fake confidence, but a genuine desire to learn, to make amends. Every Saturday, I ask him. No excuses, no shortcuts. Every Saturday, he promises. I want to understand what you and Dad saw in that car. What I was too blind to see before. Mom pulls out her phone, showing us an old photo. Dad teaching me to change spark plugs while a teenage Edwin watched from the garage door. Start bidding, she says. It's time this family built something together again. As our team clusters around Hector's laptop, placing bids on the Mustang, I feel something shift. The revenge that drove me to build this company has transformed into something else. A legacy of real value, honest work, and second chances. Hey, Edwin calls softly. Thank you. Not for exposing me, but for showing me what success actually looks like. I nod, watching the bid counter tick up. Ready to learn the hard way? Ready, he says, rolling up his sleeves. This time, I'll earn every bit of grease under my fingernails. The auction timer counts down as our family and team gather around, united in purpose, for the first time in years. Sometimes, I realize, the best revenge isn't destruction, it's reconstruction. Hand me that wrench, Edwin calls from under the Mustang's hood. Sweat drips down his face as he wrestles with a stubborn bolt, the 916 one. I slide the tool across, watching my brother struggle with the engine mount. We're in Mom's garage, the summer heat making the work even harder. Our restored Mustang gleams in the sunlight, nearly complete after months of weekend work. You know, he grunts, finally loosening the bolt. I used to think success meant showing off. Now I understand why you and Dad spent so much time out here. Because cars don't respond to smooth talk, I tease, checking the restoration checklist on my tablet. Because real value takes real work. He emerges, grease-stained but grinning. Speaking of work, did you see the report I finished for the accounting department? First one submitted on time. I nod. Moses mentioned you're up for a promotion. The sound of cars pulling up interrupts us. Mom comes out with lemonade as Hector, Caitlin, and Piper arrive for our weekly team gathering. How's our girl looking? Hector asks, running his hand along the Mustang's polished fender. Almost ready, I reply. Just a few more adjustments. Just in time for the classic car show next week, Piper adds, snapping photos for our restoration blog. The documented journey of rebuilding the Mustang has gained quite a following. Isabella? Mom calls from the doorway. There's someone here to see you. A man in a suit steps into the garage, holding a familiar leather briefcase. Ms. Mack, I'm from the Securities and Exchange Commission. We've been reviewing your company's remarkable first year. Edwin tenses beside me, but I squeeze his arm reassuringly. Your platform's success is unprecedented, the SEC man continues. But what really caught our attention was your transparency initiative. The one where we document every line of code, Caitlin asks, and every financial transaction, Edwin adds quietly. Exactly. The man opens his briefcase. We'd like to implement your accountability protocols as industry standards. Would you be willing to consult with other firms? Before I can answer, another car pulls up. It's Moses, waving a newspaper. Have you seen this? He hurries over. Your story made the front page of the business section. Tech innovation meets corporate integrity, how one company changed the game. The SEC representative nods approvingly. That's precisely why we're here. Your approach to business ethics. Actually, I interrupt, that part was my brother's idea. Everyone turns to Edwin, who flushes red. After everything, he explains, I realize transparency isn't just about showing success. It's about showing the work behind it, the mistakes, the lessons. The grease stains, Piper teases, photographing his dirty hands. Everything, Edwin nods. No more facades. Mom brings out more lemonade as we gather around the Mustang. The SEC man takes notes while our team explains how we built both a company and a car on the foundations of honest work. One last thing, I say, pulling out an envelope. Edwin's final restitution payment. He's paid back everything. Keep it, he says suddenly. Put it toward the company's scholarship fund, the one for students learning ethical entrepreneurship. The SEC representative raises his eyebrows. Now that's a story worth telling. Speaking of stories, Hector grins, start her up is, let's hear how she sounds. I slide into the driver's seat, feeling the familiar leather Dad installed years ago. Edwin leans in through the passenger window. Remember when I thought success was about looking the part? He asks softly. Now you know it's about doing the work, I reply, turning the key. The engine roars to life, a perfect harmony of power and precision. Everyone cheers as the Mustang's purr echoes through the garage. Dad would love this, Mom says, wiping her eyes. The car or the company? Piper asks. Both, Moses answers for her, because they're built on the same principle, doing things right. I rev the engine once, watching Edwin's face light up with genuine pride, not in himself, but in what we've accomplished together. Ready for a ride? I ask him. You've earned it. As he slides into the passenger seat, I catch a glimpse of our reflection in the garage window. Two siblings, grease-stained and grinning, finally understanding what Dad tried to teach us all along. Where to? Edwin asks. Forward, I reply, shifting into gear. Always forward. The Mustang rolls into the sunlight as our team waves from the driveway. In the rearview mirror, I see not just a restored car or a successful company, but a restored family, built on something stronger than revenge, truth, trust, and the willingness to do the work.